What's up, family? Antoine here, and I'm glad to be back with you. Listen, I got a story to tell. Um, I want to remind you of what the Bible says transpired in Acts chapter 12. Uh, Interesting story to say the least, but Peter has been preaching the gospel. And so Peter has been met with opposition. And as Peter is trying to advance the message of Jesus Christ, he finds himself in a prison cell. The Bible tells us in Acts chapter 12 that Peter was facing trial. He was put in the innermost part of the prison. He was stationed between two soldiers and he was chained together. And so, as Peter is in this predicament, the Bible also lets us know the church is praying. That gathered at a local house, the church has come together and they've begun to bombard heaven with their prayers. They're asking God to deliver. They're asking God to set Peter free. That they want to see him delivered. And so they're praying and they're praying and they're expecting and they're waiting and they're praying that God will do what they need to be done. And the Bible lets us know around about verse 14, and I really want to read that in your hearing. It says, when she recognized Peter's voice, she was overjoyed. She did not open the gate, but ran back in and told them that Peter was standing at the gate. But they said to her, "You've lost your mind." But she kept insisting that it was Peter, and they kept saying, "It is his angel." And so here in this portion of the text, the church has received what they were praying for. Peter is standing at the gate. He's met by a young girl. She's so overjoyed that her prayers or their prayers had been answered. She runs back and she tells everyone, Peter is here. But they don't believe. And they insist that she's lost her mind. Here's what I want to draw from the text. Are you ready for what you've prayed for? We find ourselves in seasons of life where we're praying and we're expecting God to do some things. And as we're praying and we're expecting, sometimes we find ourselves in the place of waiting. And the reality is you must know that God will transition you from the place of waiting to the place of receiving. And when you've made that transition, it's important also for you to be ready to receive what God has done. And so as you're anticipating God to do some things in your life, maybe you're praying for resources. Maybe you're praying for financial breakthrough. Are you ready to receive what God will do? Have you begun to prepare yourself to be a good steward of those resources, of those finances? Are you ready for what God will do? That's really the question we must be facing today, or the question we must consider today. Are you ready? It may even sound redundant, but I need you to know it's all throughout the Bible. There are times where believers are going before the Lord, petitioning him in prayer, expecting God to do some things, and God does it. And they have to deal with the answer of the prayer. Think about Elijah. He is praying that the heavens would be shut up, that the rain would cease, that it would not rain until he says it would rain. And when God answers the prayer, he's now in the middle of a famine and he has to be preserved through the famine. Are you ready for what you prayed for? Moses is seeking and desiring the deliverance of the children of Israel. But once they are delivered and they're faced with a Red Sea, there's an obstacle in their way. They've been freed from slavery, yet they have to get through this obstacle. Are you ready for what you prayed for? Hannah is praying and she's seeking God for a son. She tells God that if you give me this son, I'll give him back to you. God answers her prayer. And my question and my desire rather than is for us to position ourselves in the place of readiness so that when God answers everything we've been praying for, we can receive that blessing. We can receive what he has done with a ready heart, willing to do whatever it takes to glorify him with what we have been praying for. Listen, I want you guys to know, until next time, go in peace. I love you.